This week's episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Squarespace,
Gamefly, and GoDaddy.
Do you guys ever find it really weird when you connect with somebody who's from the same time, like grew up in the same...
And doesn't know?
And doesn't know one of those things. Because it shocks me when I'm like, oh, dude, bro. And then, like, I had my auger, you know, from Inhumanoids, and they're like, Inhumanoids?
Well,
and
dude,
it's like, how do you not know Sky Commander?
It's funny that you bring this up because I was just talking about why, you know, I was just saying how, and you guys said anticipation.
Yeah,
and
right, exactly.
Indignation. I was like, I have to meet Alex.
Right.
And then when I did meet you, I wore my Mike has died of dysentery T-shirt.
Yeah, and I didn't know what it was.
I went, dude.
You didn't play Oregon Trail?
I never played Oregon Trail.
Like, Jeff.
No,
It's happening.
This is the thing.
Jeff, I go.
I never played Oregon Trail.
I go.
I'm honestly shocked you never played Oregon Trail.
I know.
This is a revelation.
This is
I
what,
know. I know. This is the conversation that we were
of it.
having over coffee.
What about Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Loved Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
And the TV show.
Our options at school was play Oregon Trail
or Math Blaster.
do not play Oregon Trail. That was for the two
we didn't
options on the computer.
That reminds me. I was having breakfast yesterday, and there was something I was supposed to tell you guys. Nah, weird. It must not have been that. I think maybe I was playing. No, it was when I was on my computer. Nope. No, wasn't that either. God, when was that? Oh shoot, I gotta tell the guys we gotta review Arkham Asylum and The Taking of Woodstock.
Three rad guys living normal lives are recruited by a team of super spies. Their missions classified, but you may surmise they battle evil by quoting movie lines. Game and TV guides are used like knives to quell the rise of demon samurais. We know it sounds contrived, but we tell no lies. It's as the name implies, the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad. Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 128. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Totally Rad Show is a weekly dose of all things rad. We go down to the local insane asylum, lock ourselves in, and then escape for funsies with rad knowledge. It's trying to tie it in with Arkham Asylum, which we're going to talk about.
I didn't even mention this to you guys, but
You're an insane person?
kind of. You know,
I just got scared.
Warner Brothers was nice enough to send us a copy of Arkham Asylum, and along with it, as like a promotional thing for reviewers, they sent a straitjacket.
Are you serious?
And the straitjacket has J. Kanata printed on the back.
What?
Is that creepy or what?
That
It's
is
like the creepiest
awesome.
damn
Prop for us.
So
Shame
would-
we're not doing
Any kind of scene
old
with...
That'll have no bearing on my my feelings about the game.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk about our background.
That's why with the background from Max Haig.
Yeah, he drew this.
This is amazing,
Yeah,
right?
it's really cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
It looks
just
very much
like
like
the
the
old-
start screen of the game.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I thought it looked just like the old
Batman
animated
animated series, yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
but the positioning, how he's like standing there.
Oh, the positioning.
Yeah.
I
Well,
see.
speaking of which, let's get into the show and talk
Speaking of
about that
positioning,
after we do stuff.
Let's get to a different position.
This week in movies, we're talking about the next movie from Ang Lee, Taking Woodstock. So Ang Lee is an Academy Award-winning director. Most of his films have been nominated or won Academy Awards, from Sense and Sensibility to one of my favorites, The Ice Storm.
Talk about a director with a varied career.
Yeah.
Well, really specifying in period. Almost every single one of his movies is a period film.
But then he makes stuff like
and then
Hulk.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Right.
and Brokeback Mountain. Taking Woodstock stars one of my favorite stand-up comedians, I think yours as well,
Dimitri Martin.
Dimitri Martin, as a...
He's a what? The
Stand-up
lead
comic.
kid is a stand-up comic?
Yeah.
And he used to be the youth correspondent on The Daily Show also.
Right, that's where I remember him from. Yeah.
So Dimitri Martin plays a kid who's sort of stuck in the hometown where he grew up and his older parents live in upstate New York, in the middle of nowhere, and he is trying to make ends meet for his folks and for the town by
Based on a real person, right?
taking. I don't know. I don't
think
know
this is
about
based on
any
a
sort
real
of.
person.
I thought it was like a fictitious.
Really?
Because Woodstock did not go down this way.
Yeah, it went to Woodstock.
Yeah, it was in Woodstock.
So this is completely.
I thought this was completely fictitious.
I thought it was based
I thought it
on
was
a
like
true story.
Inglourious Bastards was.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe no more than I.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case.
You know, if you remember Woodstock, you weren't there. Am I right?
All right.
Anyway.
So like us.
So to help out the town and to help out his parents, he makes Woodstock happen in his rural town,
Right.
and hilarity ensues. Or does it? Jeffrey Canada, what did you think of taking Woodstock?
I was disappointed with it. I found it bland. And it's interesting.
End of review.
I know, it's like,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I found the whole Woodstock phenomenon a very interesting backdrop upon which to play your story, which is exactly what he's doing. This is not a story about Woodstock per se. It's more a story about these characters. And the backdrop of the story is Woodstock. And the way he shoots and recreates the crowds and the people and the time period are all really, really cool. And I would have loved to have learned more about that time and those people and how Woodstock was and all these things. And I guess I assumed there was more truth in it than it sounds like you guys are saying there was.
Yeah.
Which I would have liked to have seen. I mean, I would love to see a great documentary about Woodstock, which I haven't seen. I'm sure there are those.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese.
Right. Yeah, I never saw that.
Which is, I was talking to my brother about it because that's where the split screen stuff came from that documentary.
Yeah, well, some of it he is originally shot as Ang Lee, like.
Oh,
faking
no,
it.
I meant the choice.
Style.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
that famous Woodstock.
so yeah, I ultimately I was kind of not interested in.
Gotcha.
This
I think
movie.
I think the big thing for me was it just was boring. I just was sort of bored. It was like, okay, I'm bored. Also, I felt like every time there was there was no conflict. There was nothing was a conflict. There was no of a conflict.
You're saying, yeah.
Because what ends up happening is like in one scene, there's like
Your word choice was a conflict.
Yeah, and one scene that's like the people are here to check like your permits are all off, woo! And it's like, oh, okay, that must be the conflict of the movie is, oh God, how do you get over this? And then literally continuing the scene walks in and he goes, oh yeah, don't worry about that. And then you never hear about it again. Mobsters show up, they chase him out. It's like, ooh, that's gonna be the big conflict of the guy. You never hear about him again. It's like nothing. There's no fear that anything bad is going to happen in this whole entire movie. And I was really sort of surprised at how much Ang Lee lampooned theater actors. Good Lord. He was like, I know theater actors can exist like that, but
Those weren't theater actors, though. They were like.
it was a theater troupe, and they just made it
they
seem
were
like
Filthy hippies.
No, I know, but for me, I was sort of shocked because every time they were on scene, I was like, wow, he must really not like theater people. You know what I mean? Because it just felt so like, ugh.
As
So the
someone
whole
who's
movie-
done stuff like that.
Well,
in
I
school,
thought, to be fair,
didn't
I
really
thought
offend
you
me.
were going to be taken. I was like, poor Jeff. He must be really offended.
Now he is.
Now he must be. So just boring. Yeah, just boring. It didn't seem. It just wasn't fun.
Except for the theater comment, I couldn't agree. Identical reviews from me.
Yeah.
One thing that really took me back, though, was that what identifies Ang Lee to me is, and his often screenwriter collaborator James Schamus, is they are usually very restrained and subtle, and this was just very broad and
On the nose.
and cliche.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And there were still things that
Yeah,
were
like the
very
Vietnam character
very
was, like,
those
so
yeah. But there were
Vietnam
things.
character.
There were very those guys where they say things that say something that means definitely something on the surface, but really is about greater things. Like he's on the phone. This guy who has to stay in this town with his parents. He's on the phone with a friend of his, and he says, "Hey, are you still there?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm here." Which, in part, it really does mean much more than that. Which is something they always do, but that is handled in a very broad way throughout the thing. So I will say, great visual effects. very few, but great. And I thought the acting was great.
Imelda Staunton
She was awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
and
he was great too, but it just
I don't know which one
unfortunately,
Imelda Staunton was.
the mom.
Oh yeah. Wow, yeah. Oh, was she the chick who
Harry
played?
Potter.
Oh wow, blew my mind because I thought I was like maybe she's Russian.
Transformative performance.
Totally, 100%. But the other thing I was going to say was Liev Schreiber looked surprisingly like he was playing Samantha Morton in that movie.
Sad.
Oh, that's
Wow, you're a man of mean words.
He looked exactly like Samantha Morton, and I like Samantha Morton, so let's not get it has nothing. It has more to say about how pretty Liev Schreiber is than it has anything to do with Samantha Morton.
All right. So some big news this past week.
What?
Earlier in the week,
Man has created flight.
they announced that Gore Verbinski has stepped down from BioShock.
I thought you meant Pirate. I was going to say Pirates 4.
Well, there may
They
be
are
some more
making
news
that.
about. They are,
why would
so
they
Gore
not? It made
Verbinski,
like $1,000 billion.
there's interesting pirate news. So Gore Verbinski stepped down from BioShock. They lowered the budget and they've taken on director Juan Carlos Fresnadilla, who we talked about. If in the first year of TRS, I talked a lot about the movie Intacto, and then we all went and saw it 28 weeks later.
And we all flipped out
and
over it.
flipped
Yeah.
out over
Oh
it.
yeah.
So I'm gonna start this off.
Start it!
And saying that I am thrilled because I think for a couple of reasons. One, I mean the video game movie has as much a hurdle to get past as a sequel does, and he kicked the poop out of a sequel. I think he improved upon
28 weeks later.
I think he improved upon a movie that an Academy Award-winning director made, which is 28 Days Later.
Right. Who directed it 28 Days Later? Why am I
Danny
blanking
Boyle.
on that? Oh, right.
In addition to this, I think that Gore Verbinski doing BioShock, I already see that movie in my
Yeah.
head. It's
not a bad movie.
No,
it's got great effects.
art direction.
Yeah, and
hell
great
yeah.
effects.
Looks beautiful. But Juan Carlos Fresnadilla doing BioShock,
You don't
I
know
don't
what
know
that
what
is.
that is
Yeah.
in a good way.
You like it.
I'm very excited. And he is very, Zack Snyder, Neil Blomkamp, he is very and he basically did for zombies. I mean, 28 Days Later did it, but I think he did it better for zombies what Neil Blomkamp just did for Aliens. So, and if we can trust this, a movie like District 9 with Neil, or be so excited about that kind of film, I think BioShock in this guy's hands is really exciting.
Yeah, but I will say, it's funny when you said, the Gore Verbinski, because he's so good at that set, at building those sets. Like, those pirate sets.
Which is a lot of what
is
Bioshock.
a lot of
But
BioShock.
when you saw
BioShock is
The Ring,
all environment.
I will say, when you saw The Ring, you had no sense of that. It took him doing the first Pirates movie to get, this guy can work great on this epic scale. Same thing with Peter Jackson.
sure.
Before Lord of the Rings, we were like, really? He's gonna do Lord of the Rings?
So you're saying,
That's true.
give him a chance.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I agree with both of you. I think you put it very well, and you spoke a lot of the things that I'm feeling as well. I think you can be nothing but thrilled that this director is taking on this material because I think it could be a really awesome movie. But there is a part of me, like Alex, that would love to have seen that Gore Verbinski version.
Gaudy, over the top.
Just really Art Deco,
where they actually
amazing.
Waterworld it, where they build an actual underwater
Which,
city.
he may do
still
as
happen.
well. Yeah,
Could do, but they dropped the budget.
It's a lower
so
budget, yeah. It's tougher to do, but it could
That's
happen.
okay.
Okay.
Doesn't need stars. This movie doesn't need stars.
Other crazy news. A movie that I am as excited for, more excited for after our Avatars movies come out. It was just announced that Steven Spielberg is going to be making, and we don't know if he's directing or producing, but hopefully he's directing. That's what I'm thinking. That's what this is about. He's directing an unproduced, the last book that Michael Crichton wrote before he passed away, which is called Pirates. It's a pirate story. When I first read it, I thought, oh cool, modern day pirates. Spielberg, modern day pirates, awesome. But still awesome that it's for realsies pirates.
So it's Hook.
Right, but very different. Not too much wrong with that. But B, this is like a because to combat Pirates of the Caribbean, I think it's a much more realistic take.
So it's the Bourne Piraterium.
more historically oriented about what happened. I forget the plot, but you can.
Well, it's Michael Crichton. I love Michael Crichton, and I love Michael
Yeah.
Crichton books. I love Michael Crichton movies.
And
I
Jurassic
still
Park.
want Timeline to come back.
This is my question. I hadn't read this news before
Yeah.
you just mentioned. This is news to me now. So my question is, how much of the book was finished?
I
And
think
how
it was
much are they
finished.
really?
I believe it was finished.
So is it coming out as a book first?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I believe so.
it's being published?
Yes. Yes.
Now that said, the last
think
two,
so. I'm pretty
your
sure.
honor.
I will say the last two Michael Crichton books that he put out, the one that was about global warming, and then there's one about like
Airframe or
biological.
Prey?
No, Prey was the
Nano?
last one that I read.
Okay.
That was amazing. I loved Prey. And then his last two books, one was about the global warming, and then the other one was about, I think, genetic engineering.
Sounds
and I
right.
didn't like either of them at all. And I'm a huge Michael Crichton fan.
But
So I don't know if
Yeah.
that means that this is going to be part of that sort
But
of
even
like,
beyond the book, I feel like even if it's not the greatest book,
It's in
Spielberg with
Spielberg's
that
hands.
material, and this is what
this
I
is
want
Spielberg,
Steven
right?
Spielberg
Not
to do.
Spielbergo,
No, this
right?
is
The
Steven Spielberg,
Mexican
and I tweeted the other day one of the greatest sword fights of all time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it, though.
I mean, it's like critics' choice.
What
like
was it
it's
from?
a movie called Scaramouche, and I was watching it again.
Gesundheit.
I hadn't seen it in
Scaramouche,
ages, so I just
Scaramouche.
on a
Will
hunch
you
looked
do
it up
the
on YouTube.
fandango?
And watching it again, I was like, this is where Spielberg's directing comes from. Like the wide shots
very
of action
Scaramuccian.
sequences, and really the choreography is not based on gimmicks, not based on special effects, not based on an attribute that like a martial artist can do. It's based on really well choreographed action ideas. And
Well, yeah, that's Indiana Jones stuff.
That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
Indiana Jones stuff to a T.
So him returning.
And Jaws, to be fair, because a lot of I just saw Jaws the
Totally.
other day. A lot of it is the
Jaws
action
is
set
adventure.
pieces. Right.
Jaws is not just a hard
Interesting.
film. Jaws is an adventure movie. So Spielberg
And
returning to an
Spielberg-
adventure movie.
and returning to the sea.
The sea.
All right, lay it on me, fellas.
All right, so a little bit ago, I don't even know, I think literally
Wait a minute.
just popped into my head, Lazer Tag.
Okay.
And I thought, I wonder if Lazer Tag still exists. I've been to Ultrazone, as I'm sure you guys
Wait,
have
can
too.
we start? Can we start back a few steps?
Yes.
Laser tag.
Laser tag. Okay,
Yeah.
black guns,
Love.
red line stripe on them.
The Thing.
Vest with like octagonal.
Saturday.
I had the big rifle.
Yeah.
The like white rifle with the red
Wow.
line across the side. Amazing. And I feel like it was in some like it felt very like the Star Wars
Sure.
or like Star Trek rifle. It actually looked a lot like the Star Trek rifle.
I didn't have any of them. I had the friend who had them.
Yeah, but then I also had the grenade station, which was like this like ball where you would have to like it would periodically just explode, and so you would have to like be out of the way of this like spray of light.
Laser Tag has come a long way. So I typed it into Amazon.
So we assume, because this is like
These were expensive.
these are pretty expensive.
These were
Come a
about
long way in this-
$100 for the two guns.
Shit, I
you can
spent that?
you can spend $300 on more advanced guns that actually have your lives out, like in LED, and since you have 25 points, 24 points, and comes with stations. There's big Gatling gun versions. They do make grenades.
Epic.
Like, it's gotten really advanced, and it's a little bit expensive, but cool. So let's open it up
I'm so excited. You don't
and
even
see
know.
what we got.
So you guys both bought these.
Yes.
Have not opened them until right at this moment.
Correct.
So this could be best moment ever or whammy moment whammy.
have no idea.
Oh wow! I'm
Global
not gonna lie to you.
Association.
These look pretty badass. Wow. So now my first
look
thing
like,
that I noticed is there aren't any receivers. Are they built into the gun?
The gun.
You shoot the gun.
This.
So I don't have to put anything
That's like
fun on my
Ultrazone.
chest?
Ultrazone, you can
Okay.
cover
Oh,
you.
the whole chest. Is.
Well, that's how you play Ultrazone is you cover the gun when you run, so people can't shoot it.
That's
pro
cheating.
Tip. Pro tip.
And that's what we call cheating and will not be allowed. And Mike, I
These-
want you to be judging this. I want you to be able to go, no.
These look like the Hellboy gun.
Yeah, they do. I'm so excited.
That's a lot of batteries.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that looks like it feels really
You
good.
just saying Misa gonna die?
No reason. No reason.
There might
Just
be a reason.
doing
They
it.
might.
This is a Phoenix LTX space rifle. Actually, it's a hand
It's a
cannon.
plasma rifle with a 40-shot range.
It's a hand cannon.
This is the receiver dome hit indicator.
Receiver dome.
This is the indoor-outdoor switch.
Yes.
On this side.
Switch it.
I think it's about like light bouncing off of things, you know.
Oh, that's epic. So I can come around the corner, hit shield, and then start shooting. I'm
Then
so
you have
excited.
a strength gauge on the left and an
Right,
ammo
what
indicator
is
on
it
the
called?
right. Strength gauge.
Gauge?
Gauge.
No.
Strength.
Do I have a? Does this come with gauze? Because if you scrape your knee, you're gonna need a lot of gauze.
This is what happened. I knew
Maybe
I
a
said it
strength
wrong.
gauze.
I knew I was saying it weird, and then you said, "What's it called?" And then I said,
you're gonna stick with it.
No, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, what do I do here?" And then I just too much fun.
chose
So strength
poorly.
gauge is on the.
This is my strength gauge.
All right,
How many gauges do I have?
Wait, actually, it looks different than it does. Look,
Let me see.
it does look different.
No,
doesn't it?
no. It's just that it's like this, bro. The gauge is fine.
How many freaking batteries does it take? Look at all the batteries it comes with.
Ammo core.
I'm assuming the ammo core is where all the batteries
That's not
go.
the ammo core. Oh, here we go. Here's battery. Look, replacing the batteries.
Do you have to unscrew it?
Oh, you do have to unscrew it,
Yeah, you do have to unscrew it.
and it looks like it takes
What
6.
a pain.
6 batteries for this thing? Are you joking? That's a lot of batteries, yo.
Kids at home, the best way to get into stuff is your teeth.
Kids know that already. You don't have to tell them.
Nice.
That does feel like
Secure.
no. It feels like ammo.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like a clip.
We have one from Mike.
Shield. Check it. Shield.
I put my scope on, bitches.
Scope on.
Say what?
When all the lights on your strength gauge go out, you are out of the gamma.
You guys suck.
Where's the power button?
It goes from off to solo.
Hold it out like this.
Hold it out like you're holding it, and then.
Holy crap. This is rad.
Told you. Shoot up in the air.
I've been working on the rail.
I see the green dot. Do you see the green dot?
Yes,
Yeah.
green dot.
Oh. I'm done too. Dan won
How do you
the
know you're
first.
done?
Because my gun's not doing
I
anything.
won! All right, okay. So here we are,
Face to
Pan Pacific
face.
Park.
Couple of silver spoons. Open to find.
What are our what's
So
the
we're
game
gonna
we're
make
playing
up our
here?
boundaries. So we found this amphitheater here, and I think what we're gonna have to do is make up a little bit of boundaries. So what I would suggest is that you can only go about 6-7 feet past in an arc around these trees
This way.
this way,
Okay.
and then you can't go up the first step of the amphitheater.
Are we allowed to attack civilians?
No. But you can take cover, but you can't stay in the same cover spot for more than 30 seconds, and there will be judging.
No, you can because someone can chase you out of that cover spot.
No, that's
You don't
the
need to worry
judging.
about that.
Let's do this
That's
shit.
the judge during
Let's
execution,
talk more
right?
rock.
All right, so let's turn it on. You guys
Solo, outdoors. You ready?
Shoot up in the air.
On 3. 1, 2. I think Dan doesn't realize that I'm shooting him.
Am I done? If my light's on, am I dead or am I alive?
Strength. If your strength gets to 0, you're dead. Dan's dead.
I'm out.
Ah, Alex won.
Ah, winner, chicken dinner! What's up, Lazer? You know what I did again?
How much life did you? How much strength did you have left?
Strength? 3 strength.
Nice. All right, let's do another game, guys.
Hell yeah.
Okay, ready?
So wait, no. Because the first thing that happened was my pants almost fell off.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
I'm in the crossfire! Ah, crap. That was stupid. I'm dead already.
Are you dead, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just stood there between you guys getting worked. I should have pushed my shield. Come on, Dan, get him.
Oh, I'm out!
Oh, you're already out. Well, I had full strength. I had full strength.
That was good. That was super fun.
Dominator.
Well,
That was super fun.
That you did what I did last time, in between the two guys.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be in between the two guys.
yeah, three-way is a little.
Oh, and it says you're out.
Yeah. I'm out. Oh, you just.
I took out Dan. Get out of your perch, 30 seconds. That was your rule.
I'm out, damn it!
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's awesome. We each won our own.
That was cool.
That was fun. I could easily see myself setting up some good
Like
spots.
weekends.
That was really fun. Oh man,
Dude,
that was really
teams
fun. Teams
would be amazing.
So amazing.
This was really fun. This was really fun. Although I do feel like I wish we had a better place to do it. Because this was sort of okay, but this is definitely the best of the places. I loved it, dude.
Yeah, that was badass,
Good work.
dude.
I'd
Good
do
job.
it again. We should throw a laser
that
tag
it?
party.
There's a tag party.
That's it?
Well, I mean, we can do more.
All right, if you guys remember, when I got back from a GDC, the game that I was most thrilled to tell you guys about
Yes.
was Batman Arkham Asylum. And I have mentioned several times on this show the very poor track record historically of superhero-based video games. It seems like that trend is changing. It seems same with movies. It seems like all of a sudden people figured out how to make them. So now we have Batman Arkham Asylum coming out from Warner Brothers and Eidos, and it is really a AAA, lots of resources put behind it, superhero title based around one of my favorite characters,
Yeah.
Batman.
What were
And-
some of the, just real quick for my edification, what were some of the other, like, you're saying that now there's like a resurgence of good superhero
Well, we
games?
just talked about
Spider-Man, Wolverine.
We just talked about Wolverine,
Wolverine,
being pretty
good.
great. I mean,
Yes,
that was
you're
more
right.
based on a movie property than
No,
pure
but it
comic
is
property.
X-Men.
but-
Yeah, okay. I just was like,
We bring
I
up
was like, I
Spider-Man
agree
2
with him.
every time we talk about
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I,
So go ahead.
And
yeah,
this
no.
is, and this is written, the story of this game is written by Paul Dini, who is the guy behind a lot of the awesome
Star Wars
DC-based
animated series. And
DC-based animated series, yeah, the Batman animated series, Justice League. And the story is, Batman has captured Joker once again and is bringing him into Arkham Asylum, where Joker always gets incarcerated and never fails to break out. And this is one of those times where he breaks out, and Batman is forced to deal with not only the Joker's master plot, but he kind of enlists a lot of other big Rogues Gallery members: Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Bane, a Scarecrow. And it's all in the giant complex that is Arkham Asylum. So you're stuck on
Arkham Island.
Arkham
Yeah.
Island, although they do figure out a way to get you to the Batcave, interestingly. Anyway, so Alex,
yes.
Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
Hit me with your feelings.
Hit me with your best shot. So, was very excited about this game, obviously. Batman Arkham Asylum, everybody's been talking about it. Very cool, Unreal Engine.
You played it on
Gears of War.
PS3.
Played it on the PS3.
Which has an exclusive playable Joker
Correct, did
in
not
the challenges.
did not do that. But because I just got it for the PS3 just
Right.
because I did, and not specifically for that, because I was more excited about the game than the challenge things. But first couple minutes, very not cool vibes. Especially when I put it in, I understand. I've had a long conversation with my PS3 about installing games, and I've come to a realization that that's cool. But give me a progress bar, especially if it's going to take 20 minutes. Don't just say installing, because I just sat there. Because then I kept going, am I the asshole? Should I go? But then it's going to happen.
I mean, obviously, this
But
is not to
it
do with the
affected-
game. It's the PS3.
True. But it was my first sort of like,
Okay.
Then, very long cutscene, sort of. You're kind of walking, and all this stuff is happening. It takes a long time for the action to start. I have a real problem. And for some reason, Gears doesn't do this to me, but for the third person where the guy takes up almost half the screen.
Very Resident Evil 4.
It's real hard for me to
Esque.
get. Yeah, it's real hard. And I had a problem with that in Res Evil, to be fair. So I immediately walking through this thing, I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to really enjoy this game because of how much of the screen I'm taking up. Then the game started and pulled back into the combat mode, and must say it could be the most fun I've ever had in combat in a game.
Wow.
It was so awesome because you really got that feeling, a lot like what Wolverine was, but in a different way.
Definitely.
This is sort of more fun, you know what I mean? Like, I've never wanted to do counterattacks more than I did in this game, because the satisfaction of landing that counterattack, unbelievable.
Let's be clear, the game has different phases in it, and it's kind of a mix between exploration and puzzle solving, but the combat is broken down between when the guys are unarmed sort of thugs with just pipes and
and there's
brawling.
great hand-to-hand, and then stealthy.
Yeah, and then
like,
when the guys have guns where they'll shoot Batman and kill him, he
can't-
has to sort of covertly take
Which-
them out.
Also amazing, standing on top of these gargoyles, watching for them to be there, gliding in, knocking somebody out, shooting your thing, and going straight back up to make sure you don't get killed, and then jumping around. So much fun. I had a blast playing this game.
Dan?
Yes.
Take time.
I thought it did such a great job of creating the Batman experience.
Right.
This very dark story that uses the gameness to tell the story. It's not just all in cutscenes. There's an amazing sequence that's where you flash back to your origin and young Bruce Wayne that was like, like a cinematic experience, like a really effective experience. But using it like only could be experienced in a gameplay, not in just watching.
Sort
a
of how
cutscene.
they managed with the Scarecrow scene.
Yeah, that's one
which
of the
was-
Scarecrow
which was
scenes.
great,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought that it did the Batman experience much better than it did gameplay.
Really?
That being said, don't jump to conclusions, because I did think that the combat was spectacular. Like you said, I first played it at a kiosk at Best Buy, just a combat thing, and I remember I was.
Where you usually hang out.
And I was playing, and when you first, I think nothing is like the first time you experience this combat system, because I was like, oh, and I was like looking around at like, is anyone else seeing how awesome this is?
Yeah.
It's really all about linking your combos together and jumping from enemy to enemy and dodging attacks. And the first time you ever swing and miss, it breaks your combo.
And it really makes
Which is different than the way most games handle that.
In most games, you can get away with spamming buttons.
Right.
Even if there is a deeper mechanic, you can usually get by spamming buttons. This game, you can't get by. And plus, the reward when you pull off great combos, and he always does something different. Like, it's really spectacular. Okay. But I thought, like, what you were describing when you're at the gargoyle, you're in detective mode, and you're seeking out people and all that stuff, really was the perfect Batman experience. It really made me feel like Batman. But the game, I didn't think the doing of it was that much fun. It wasn't as fun as swinging around the city or as Wolverine, bashing. It just didn't make me feel fun.
You feel fun.
It just didn't
Give you
get a
joy.
rise
Yeah,
out
I
of
guess.
me. And I also take issue with
Batarang.
this, as well as the Splinter Cell games, where I spent most of the game in detective mode, which is the mode you go into where you see where you need to go, and you can see through X-ray
That's true.
modes.
I spent almost 90%
And I'm always
of
like
the time
that
in
Splinter
X-ray
Cell
mode.
games. I'm always in night vision. I'm like, but I want to see how great looking these graphics are and great looking the game is. But I never want to leave detective mode, and I wish the game didn't do that to me. I want to experience the game.
And you're right. The game is spectacular looking.
Yeah.
I mean, visually, it's amazing, and there's little flourishes that are so satisfying to me. Like, for example, as you progress through the story, Batman gets effed up by bad guys. He'll get a slash here, or his cape will get torn, and those stay persistent.
Yeah.
It's really, really a cool little touch. And the environments are all very detailed and cool. Moving around the environments is really fun. Ziplining, and as you build your repertoire of bat gadgets, where in most games you would just sort of upgrade and get them, this game always delivers them to you in incredibly cool ways, like getting you to the Batcave or the Batwing breaking in and dropping it off for you. Awesome.
Yeah.
I disagree heavily with you about the stealth moments. I felt that really was a blast for me. It was very reminiscent of Metal Gear Solid in that sort of planning my attack. And I had so much fun like spraying that explosive gel that he stuffed and setting traps for people. And then I got the sonic batarang, and I would like get people to go to certain places, and I planned out how I was going to take down each room. And then the game also has a series of challenges which are just those things, and leaderboards, online leaderboards. It's really cool.
I think what Dan was saying was not that he didn't like the stealth stuff, but that there was sort of no reason to get out of the detective mode where you can see.
I hear you on
people.
that.
I think that's what he meant. I don't think he was saying that the stealth.
you said
Well,
you were
it's
having
2
fun.
points.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Also that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think this is an amazing
Not
game.
that I think that was such a great experience of doing that the first time, but then I was sort of like, well, what is it?
You bring up an interesting point because I do think this game goes back to the well a few times. Like that the first time you go into that Scarecrow sequence, it is so awesome and so different. And then to do it 2 more times, it feels like, oh, I got to do this again.
Right.
And also,
I kind of like the
the
platforminess of that.
Yeah, but also the following the alcohol first, and then it's like same stuff, but just tobacco, and then it's blah blah blah. It's like it's the same gimmick.
I think this is a really fantastic game though, and it should not be missed.
Yeah.
But speaking of back to the well, what it did do that was kind of cool was that at all the situations where they gave you sort of parameters to your missions that were very Batman-esque, very like, choose this or that, like the kind of cliffhangers that you would have seen at the end of the old Batman. So it's like,
and reinforcing the fact that he's the world's greatest detective, which is cool.
And never kills anyone.
I want to bring up another topic because it's something that I kind of got into a Twitter discussion with people about, and there's been some internet discussion of it. There's a video that's out of Bayonetta, which is another game that we played at E3. It's a Sega game that's very Devil May Cry-esque. And there's a video released of a Japanese girl playing the very easy mode, where all she's doing is pressing, I'm sure it's playing right here, but all she's doing is pressing a button, alternating between buttons, and completely has her other hand off the controller, and is still kicking a lot of butt.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw that out to you guys because I think a lot of people look at that and go, is that a game? Is it a game? Is that a good thing? David Ellis from One Up and I were talking a little bit about it, and he thought it's a great way to bring people who wouldn't be able to play these type of very complicated fighting games in and welcome them into the experience. But I think the other side of that argument is that if it's that simplistic, what are you doing? If there's no challenge at all,
it brings up that it brings up that big issue where when games became less about trying to get you to put 25 cents in, and more about you've spent $50 and we've written this entire game. We want you to see the story complete.
Right.
So it does bring in that thing of, it's the reason why there's no fail mode in Rock Band.
And
it's
why
totally different. But
the new games we'll be talking about next week, some of the new music games are coming completely unlocked songs.
Yeah, because most people when they sit down,
I paid for this. I want to play it.
I want to experience this. Yeah. I went out and paid my money, yet I don't have the Twitch-based skill to get me all the way through to the end. Is that really fair? I mean, yeah, you didn't have the skill to get to the end, but what if it's like, well, I don't need the challenge. I just want to.
For you?
Well, it depends. It's not going to cheapen it for me because I'm never going to set it to easy mode and just hit one button. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that it's just
for the people that will do it, it doesn't cheapen it because they went out and buy the game so they want to see how fun it was.
I mean, yeah,
So you don't see a downside here at all?
I don't. I'm curious to hear what you think the downside is, because if it was the only way you could play the game, that would frickin'
Well, of course
suck.
not. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's clearly not the case here.
What left into my brain, but then there was a counterpoint to it immediately after was, when I was a little kid, or I can picture my 8-year-old nephews, like, they don't, I mean, now they do know, but when they were younger, like, they didn't quite get everything, every facet of playing the game, so just hand them and they could hit, and they'd be like, awesome, awesome! They'd be flipping out over the cool stuff, but then I realized that this game is not for
well, but what
that
about
age.
like my fiance Heather? I mean, if it's a story that she could really get behind,
that's
and
not-
she's
it's
just
just
like,
combat,
there's a
though.
1,000 different. Well, but I mean, if I handed her a controller and went, great, so this is jump, and then you can combo chain and do all this
she'd
stuff,
never
she'd be
play
like,
it. Yeah.
what?
Well, and clearly that's what this is for the people that would never do this otherwise.
And I think
that
I have to say the Wii proves the fact that a lot of people
Want to
would
play.
would love to experience
if it's
these
simpler,
stories
they
and
would wanna
have
play.
these experiences.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
So what are the downsides to this?
I think the potential downside is to say if you make an experience that requires that has a challenge and requires a certain amount of skill to receive the reward, and in this case the reward would be progressing through the game.
Right.
And then you remove that challenge, and anybody can progress through the game regardless of how much effort it took to get there. Does that mean that the accomplishment, the feeling of accomplishment for someone that legitimately did it is reduced? Is it, well, anybody can do this, so there's no reason, it's like
Well, but people will play something on like Legendary, and they'll be like,
Sure.
"Well, I got through the game on Legendary."
And I think
even though there's an
achievements-
easy version, it's not like there's
certainly achievements combat that in the sense of like, oh look, I can show everybody that I did it on
and you get more
difficult.
gamer points if you beat a game on hard or legendary.
Yeah.
Which I've often
I
done.
don't know how I feel about it. I think that there's a legitimate argument to be made for like, well, if you just make it, if I can just watch this pretty much as a cinematic, what's the point in it being a game?
yeah.
Well, it's just an option for people to experience it that way. I mean,
Like if you could, I mean,
Yeah, I didn't
Easy
realize
mode
that
has
that was
always
like
been
the
in
super
games.
easy mode. I thought that was just like, oh man, you can do that as well. And I was like, oh, well, that's not good because
Yeah.
then I just do that.
Well, I think we all criticized the Avatar game that we reviewed. I shouldn't say that. We can't call it Avatar anymore. We have to call it the Last
Airbender, yeah.
Nah.
People get very confused.
Yeah.
But the Last Airbender game that we reviewed, we criticized for being so mind-numbingly
Easy.
simple that you could
but
just
it's-
spam. And you were just mentioning about how you could just spam X in most games.
Most
Right.
games.
I think that there really is a reward, a greater feeling of reward when there's a challenge. So I don't know.
I agree with that.
absolutely. I don't think anyone would disagree with that, but this is
You're just
that's
saying
a
you
separate
can
point,
set your
though.
own challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as you always could. You could always play an easy mode in any
argument.
game.
And we never did. I mean, to be fair, there was always a level easier on almost every game that we've played that we never choose to do.
I can't bring myself to not
No,
play
I know,
on normal.
but then it's like, well,
least,
then why
yeah.
not? I mean, so why not make a level even easier than the easy, and we still just would be the same. We still just don't do that because we want the challenge. Ship it! All right, so before we get to our email, we do want to thank our sponsors. We've got some amazing sponsors like Squarespace.com. You've heard us talking about Squarespace. We love Squarespace.
We do.
If you want to create a site for anything, there's no reason why you shouldn't use Squarespace. Super cheap hosting.
Easy.
Amazingly easy template setups that are professionally designed templates. It's not like the template services, other places where it's like, oh, this is cute, I guess.
It's not your mom and pop's.
It ain't your mom and pop's template.
dude.
These are cool-ass designers making cool-ass templates. Also, best WYSIWYG editor out there, period, bar none. So you can start with a template and start designing it all yourself. Amazing stuff. Also, if you use the coupon code TRS when you check out, you will get 10% off the entire lifetime of your site. There's no excuse. Go get yourself a site, Squarespace.com.
Yeah, when I originally made a website, I used the Yahoo templates, and they're so terrible.
I remember.
mean, don't tell Yahoo, but they're terrible.
Yeah.
And now my site
Yahoo.
is on Squarespace, and it's getting a lot of attention. Just this week, I heard that Inked magazine, which is
The tattoo magazine.
the tattoo
Yes.
magazine. They told me I just updated my site, and all of a sudden, my site is the #1 tattoo that people are getting. They're actually tattooing my site on them.
The full
The-
blog
you-
episode,
it's
everything.
really shocking.
Which blog are they using?
My jeffcanada.com.
No, I mean, like, at what date?
I think
was it?
I think they get it updated every time I update.
Amazing.
Running gag. Also, you should
joke.
check out Gamefly.com. Gamefly.com has been a great sponsor of ours, and they're the perfect. They're the perfect.
He's just like, is he going for it? Is he going for it?
I'm like, please, Dan, help me out. Gamefly is the perfect antidote to your video game addiction, because you can get every single game and play every single game. How?
Not antidote. Enable. It's an enabler.
No, it cures your
cures
addiction
your-
by giving you everything you need.
It enables your addiction. It doesn't get rid of it.
That doesn't sound as good as
Yeah. I want some ham.
If you get a subscription to GameFly, it's $15.99 a month. You have a queue of games that you can play, old games, new games, and stuff coming out. You play the game as long as you want, keep it, no late fees, send it back when you're done playing it, get the next one on your list. It's awesome. And if you use gamefly.com/TTRS, which stands for The Totally Rad Show, you get a 2-week free trial.
Nice.
So check it out. You can check it out free and find out if this is the way that you won't have to spend $60 every single week like
Amazing.
we are.
Amazing.
I'm gonna be sneaky like Batman because I forgot to say something. I didn't finish Arkham Asylum, but I really would I'm excited to do that in Gotham. I didn't love that it was all on the island. And I look forward to a sequel maybe. Maybe that happens at the end of the game, I don't know. Or maybe a sequel is I want to be in the city, not just all in this enclosed corridors and island. Anyway. Also, we are brought to you by GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy is web domains as low as $1.99, but others very cheap. Easy to use startup software. Tons of hosting options, great customer service we're always raving about. Get your piece of the internet over at GoDaddy.com, but go to revision3.com/GoDaddy for tons of promo codes.
Amazing. Also, Raffle! Revision 3's hysterical stand-up comedy montage, I will put it. It's like
the perfect web show because
it's a salad bar of stand-up comedy from the week.
Yeah,
And you
it's
get to go-
bite-sized portions of funny.
You go, oh, a little bit of Jersey comedy, a little bit of stuff that's in Arizona, a little stuff from Oregon.
Some cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
What's Oregon comedy like?
It's vegetarian. Anyway, so head over to revision3.com/raffle for show information. Now let's get to our email.
Yes.
Hey, Rad Bros, I've been watching your show for a few months and really enjoy the diversity that you guys are bringing to each episode. Yeah. I was totally impressed when you reviewed Magic the Gathering. By far, it's the most intellectual, strategic game that remains an outlier in the tabletop gaming. By the way, I recently joined Gamefly, very cool, to try some of the games you guys have reviewed and loved, so sponsors take notice. What's up? Do it.
Gamefly,
Take notice.
they
They
just
just
said it.
did. Now, since we all love tabletop games and you reviewed the best game of all time, what is your favorite tabletop game and how long have you been playing it? Ches Spencer, Raleigh, North Carolina. Good question. Good question. I go to you, Jeff.
Yeah,
It has fluctuated.
I think we don't talk about as much as we play tabletop games. We love tabletop games.
Yes,
We
although
all-
we haven't been able to get time to play them lately,
not
which
lately.
is sad.
But the love's still there.
Yes.
We met playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Correct.
Which is a tabletop game. Recently, I actually had a blog post on my blog about how much I fell in love with Settlers of Catan recently
Yeah.
and Puerto Rico,
Yep.
which are phenomenal German board games that you really should try if you even have a passing interest in board games. I love the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a article, I think Wired, about
Yeah.
Settlers of
Settlers of
Catan.
Catan being the perfect game.
The perfect
Yeah.
game, and
Yeah.
Monopoly, nothing compared to
Right.
Catan,
Yeah.
and it's great, informative.
So what do you think, Dan?
I think what you guys should do is go to our Wikipedia page, look up when we did the Fireball, do a little
yeah.
Apple F for find, type in
There's
Fireball
no Apple on my keyboard.
or
Control F. For you 95%ers, as I like to call you.
Fireball Island. We played on the show, had a blast playing it. It was
Yeah.
my favorite game growing up. The fact that we still had so much fun.
I was
I
shocked.
know. I was surprised
It
too.
holds up that
Testament
well because I
to-
felt it was very.
We're gonna have to try Mousetrap next.
I thought it. Yeah, I
it
thought
holds
it was gimmicky. It seemed gimmicky, but
it
it's
was
actually
it was
solid.
a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good game. A lot of fun. There's boulders that come in. It's like Indiana Jones the game. Awesome. There was also a Star Wars board game when I was
Yes,
younger
yeah.
that I only played once, and I always wanted to play it again. Kind of like Fireball Island.
Didn't it have
was.
Hoth on it or something? No. Go
don't
ahead,
know.
Alex. Your turn.
Interesting. So Fireball Island is your best tabletop game ever?
Yes. I mean, do we count card games?
I think so. I
Well,
mean,
he
anything
counts
that you play on
Magic.
a tabletop.
You should talk about Munchkin.
Well, Munchkin is, I mean, was really what
It's sort
got
of
us
like-
into all of
It's
this
sort of
stuff.
like it's not even worth. It's so far above the
Yeah,
conversation that it's not even.
Munchkin, love Munchkin. I have to say, I've been enjoying Magic the Gathering. Surprised at how much I've been enjoying it. That said, I also played a zombie game where two people play as the zombies, and the other two people play as the people trying to escape the zombies. Very cool sort of team fighting thing. I think it's like called Night of the Zombies or Zombie Night or something. I'm sure everybody's like, no, I created that game. It's right here. It's called Zombie Town.
Probably not everyone saying that. Maybe one guy.
Well, hopefully. Or girl.
That was the game that was sent to us by a viewer. That was
get
one
out.
of the- One of the games that, like a year ago.
Oh, that's epic. Yeah, because I recognized the box. I went over and played
Because
it
we
at
talk
my
about
buddy Joshua's.
how much we love board games.
So yes, big fan of the boards of the games. Also, I'll throw it in there. A little Pictionary. I think Pictionary may be my favorite of the tabletop board games, as it were.
Do you
Yeah, but
Party games. Party games.
party game?
do you
yeah, yeah.
remember the TV show?
Pictionary?
Oh,
Win, lose, or draw.
You
Of course.
Are you kidding? I freaking love
With,
that show.
Who like the guy who was the actor in like Family Tie, like
Oh
Buddy,
yeah, it was
Buzzy,
all
Bisbee or whatever.
It was all like
like
the empty nest cast.
Yes.
Yeah, the empty nest cast.
Awesome.
I love it. Anyway, thank you so much for your email, Chaz. If you'd like to have your email sent, you can do
You
that.
should probably use a
You
computer.
can do that. Or if you want to send an email or a background like Max over here,
Yeah.
feel free to send it to fans@totallyradshow.com.
I also urge you guys to check out our forums at totallyradshow.com. It's a really awesome community, really cool people there, and sign up and participate because we love reading that on the old forums.
Yeah. Well, that is it for this week's edition of the Totally
Well, we
Rad
need
Show.
to tell people the big news about PAX.
Oh, that's right. I love that you were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I was looking at you like, "Okay, he's not saying anything, so he has nothing." So it's
No, but,
we leave.
I mean, there's other
No, I
things.
got it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be at PAX. We have a panel that we're gonna be doing Saturday at
noon.
12 p.m.
Yep.
Noon.
Hope to see you there.
Hope to see you all there. And also the night before, Friday night at 7 at the Blarney Stone, we're going to be doing a big Revision 3 meetup with the co-op guys
Yep.
and us and ourselves. So
be fun.
come on out, meet us up, hang out, partay, and then come see our panel
Yeah,
on
and to be
Saturday.
clear, the meetup does not require a ticket to PAX.
No.
So if you don't have tickets for Friday, you can still come to the meetup if you're in Seattle. But the panel on Saturday does require a ticket to get into PAX. So
Perfect.
hopefully you've got that
Hopefully
situated.
we will see you at PAX. That is it for this week's edition. No, it's
Close?
not. Close. Go to jinx.com/GRS. That is it for this week's edition of the Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Until next time, PAX!
Sit down, sit down. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. That's gonna be your head for the rest of the day, I
I
guarantee.
had to sing it this morning. I got it in your head. I was singing it this morning.
Are you
People all
serious?
said, sit down, you're rocking the boat.
I didn't hear it. It was
Before I left,
completely
I was singing.
subconscious.
In your brain.
Under the sea is where we do lots of the things.
So, anyway. Ugh, I just got tired.
Me too.
Yeah, let's do this.
It has something to do with my yawn.
No.
You guys ready?
I was born ready.
Good outtakes this week. It's for you. Like a boss.